right. Welcome, folks. Welcome, one and all. All can come to. It's Friday. It's SketchUp, and we're going to do some live modeling. Thanks for joining us. My name is Aaron. I'm going to be here doing stuff with SketchUp and modeling. And joining me as my co-host, we have a brand new voice on the line, and that is Charles. Say hi, Charles.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Aaron. Longtime viewer, first time on the air. I'm excited to be here with you today.
Awesome. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, get something fresh. I'm stale, so I got to bring something fresh along with me, and that's Charles is going to freshen things up for me. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. It's December officially. Like, isn't today's the first, right?
Today is the first, yeah.
So as of right now, I people go, oh, November, winter, but no, I mean, December is where winter starts in my heart. So in that spirit, we're gonna get in that Christmassy holiday vibe going, and we're gonna model a gingerbread house. A lot of times I spend time modeling from plans or images or that kind of stuff. I wanted this to be fun. We're gonna go full, like just full wing it mode in this. So you guys know what a gingerbread house looks like. I know what a gingerbread house looks like. We're just gonna start modeling and do some stuff. I figure we'll get some candy made up. We'll get some gingerbread panels made up, modeled, and then we'll just take components and start arranging them. Should be fun. But love to hear your thoughts as we get into it. Speaking of which, where all do we got people coming in from right now, Charles? It looks like
We've got people. Oh my gosh, there's so many people right now. Toronto, Canada, snowy England. We've got let's see, where else? Hungary. We've got people in Schenectady, New York. Marty out there. Randy says Charles in charge of our days and our lives. So
never heard that before, right? First time.
Yeah, I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
See, my name is Charlie Kelly, so I get a lot of Always Sunny in Philadelphia references. So, Wisconsin, Panama. Hi, everybody. Syria. We've got so many people in the chat. Make sure to say hi to me in the chat. I would love to talk to you. I'm gonna message y'all. It's gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be a lot of fun today.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good time. So yeah, I'll be up here doing stuff, but if as you type in questions, that kind of thing, anything you got a question about SketchUp in general, community, software, whatever, we'll do our best to get an answer to you, either talking answer or a typed answer. But yeah, or obviously questions about what we're modeling, or I don't want to ruin this for anybody, but there are occasions where our chat wanders off into something that has nothing to do with anything, and we welcome that as well.
I'm so excited for that. As somebody with very terrible ADHD, that's where I'm at all times during the day.
That's awesome. Yeah, so fire away. If we need to jump into some TV shows or what's going on in the Star Wars universe, it's all welcome here. Let's go. All right. With that, let's get rolling. All right. Yeah, so hey, a topic I did want to throw out. Many of you saw and responded to a poll that went out, I believe is on YouTube earlier this week, asking what day of the week you thought was the best for live streams. We're not necessarily wanting to change anything, but we are trying to make sure we're not assuming by doing what we're doing. It was pretty predominantly people like the Friday slot and wanted us to stick with it, so we heard you there. We just started another poll asking about the length of these streams. Like, what do you think? Would it be is a little more time good on here? Do you like the 2-hour window? Again, we don't think anything's wrong. Nothing's broke. We're not trying to fix something. But if we need to adjust it because you think a different way could be better, then we'll talk about it. I went back and looked. So about the start of the pandemic, end of 2019, I don't know. Times in the last 3 years got weird. I don't know exactly what the dates were, but there was about 3 months at the beginning of the pandemic where we started streaming 3 times a week. We were doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams. Leading up to that time, our streams were 3.5 to 4 hours sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
And then when we hit that 3 streams a week, which we were doing just because, we didn't know how long this is go on. We knew people wanted to connect. So we kind of created our own social platform here on SketchUp Live. but we scaled them down. We said we'll do 3 times a week, but we're going to cap it at an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then when we went back to once a week, we just kind of kept with that 2 hour window. But we're wondering from you guys, like, does it make sense to go a little longer? Do we get a little more detailed in our models, or is being a little more concise and focused in 2 hours good? So on YouTube, we have that poll. So go ahead and weigh in if you get a chance, and we can hear your voice. Yeah, by the way, if you're ever thinking about getting into streaming, I highly recommend not trying 3 times a week. It was fun, but
It's overwhelming.
it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It was fun though. It was a good time. Yeah. Let's get rolling. All right. So like I said, I don't have yeah, I should say, if you want to throw out your thoughts in the chat too, you don't have to go to the YouTube poll. If you want to just let us know here, we will hear you. So Andrew, for example, just chimed in on Facebook saying 2 hour sessions on Friday. Stick with the norm. Don't screw with stuff, Aaron. Just keep going. All right, got it. Okay. So here's some things I was thinking. First, I want to throw this out. This is not an official poll, but I want to get some thoughts from you guys. I want to hear your input. When you think gingerbread house, what like decorations or candies do you think of? Like I'm thinking like frosting, gumdrops, candy canes. Keep going with that list. What else you got? Charles, what's your preferred?
The go-to is to use red licorice, the pull and peel Twizzlers as the roofing. So you can split it up and do that as roofing. That's kind of the staple in my household. That and rosemary for trees, which is kind of a little weird. You don't really want to just eat rosemary. I mean, you can, it's edible, but rosemary is kind of like a tree or a garnish or something. So we use both of those.
Ah, I can get behind the licorice. I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna be model. No, nothing personal. I don't know. I'm gonna model a whole lot of rosemary today. Just
Yeah, I honestly do not blame you. The little peppermint circles, those
oh
are
yeah.
always fun. M&Ms. Humbugs and
good.
licorice in the chat. Snow whipped cream.
I feel like I need to know what a humbug is now.
Okay, we're gonna look this. I'll look this up for you.
There we go. See, he's a professional, folks. He's on it.
Professional Googler.
That's right. Cool. I'm gonna start. So here's my thoughts. I want to kind of put together some panels. I want to model each of the panels as like a separate piece. So I'm gonna start just bare bones, right? So we'll have 4 walls and then 2 roof rectangles. We're gonna start with that, and I'm gonna model them. We'll make them look gingerbready, and then we'll kind of go from there. Then we'll start cranking out some candy and assembling it, but I want like the whole thing to be component based, and that's how we're going to do this thing. So again, not looking for like, I'm going to make this, I'm going to assume that Heather here is a gingerbread person. So I'm thinking the house will be maybe about this size.
I do have an update for you
Okay.
around the humbug. You know those like cylindrical candies that have like the pinched sides?
Yes.
Usually like mint, but there's like they're fruity ones.
Mhm.
I've seen some chocolate ones. That's a humbug.
All right. I didn't know that had a
That's
name.
not like what we call them in the States. I don't know what do we call those? Are they humbugs?
I don't. They're like it's like an extruded candy, right? Like and then yeah, like chop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I've never. I guess I've never heard of that before. A name for it. I mean, I've seen them, but yeah, I didn't know they had a name. That's cool. All right, another vote for peppermint candies. We'll be sure to get that. Lollies. Cool. All right. Cool. We got Kyle joining for the first time, it looks like. Welcome, Kyle. All right. So, like I said, I'm not going to get too caught up in like what's the exact size of anything. I want to get some panels in here that represent my gingerbread chunks. And I think this is about the size of the house relative to our gingerbread person over here that I want to use. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on the four sides of the house one at a time. I'm going to select it. I'm going to say make component, and I'm going to call this front. Double click, right click, make component, right, double click, right click, make component, back. You never guys will never guess I'm gonna do this next side. Double click, right click, make component. I'll call that left. For the roof, I'm gonna grab one. I'm gonna say make component, call a roof, and then I'm just gonna delete this side. Grab this one, go to rotate, constrain, grab the midpoint, copy around like that. All right, there we go. Get rid of that. So these are my initial 6 panels that I'm gonna make gingerbread out of. Let's start simple. I'm gonna start on the side. So with the side, I'm just not gonna do anything fancy with this. We're just gonna extrude this as a big old cookie. So here's what I was thinking. I'm gonna bring it out like this. I'm gonna bring it out like, you know, whatever I think relative to the size, how thick a piece of gingerbread be. That's this size-ish. Now, that's okay, right? I could use that piece to make my house. But I do want it to look a little more organic than this. There's a couple ways I could go about this. There's some extensions. So I could take this into like grab quad face tools and sub D. I've done some organic modeling before. You guys have seen my process there, and break it down and make it smaller. I could do that, but that seems excessive for the thing that we're working on here. There is an extension called, I think it's called Erode or Eroder or something like that, that I could use on a rectangle like this. And what it will do is it'll go in and it gives me some controls to kind of deform it and make it look like it's a little more beat up. I could use something like that too. If I want it to be really simple, I could grab my eraser and hold down this soften smooth, and I could come in here and erase my edges like that. And that would give me, you know, more of a soft cookie edge, but that's not ideal. So I'm gonna go just a skosh further. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna knock my corners off just a little bit. So it'll still be rectangle-y, but you know, like when you get a cookie, doesn't matter how crisp you cut that corner, as soon as you cook it, it blobs out and science happens and that kind of thing. So I wanna knock my corners off here, and then I wanna soften these hard corners here. So I'm gonna do that. I am going to hide the rest of my model, so just see the piece I'm working on right now. I'm going to start by going back to just the rectangle. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to knock this corner off with an arc. So when I first bring up an arc, it tells me it's going to put 12 faces, see there are the sides. I don't need 12 faces. This is pretty small. I'm just going to do like three right there. And I'm just going to knock that much of the corner off. So not significant, just enough. And then I'm going to double click on this corner. I'm going to double click on this corner, double click on this corner. Then I'm going to take that and pull it out. And now to kind of round off this corner, I could use a follow me, right? We've done this before on furniture and some other models. We're going and like kind of model a curved piece and then do a follow me. Again, I'm trying to keep this fairly simple. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use offset. Offset, I'm going to pull a rectangle in, something like that. And then I'm going to use move to pull that out. I'm going to constrain on the red axis. And I'm just going to pull it out just a little bit, like just enough where I get like a little bit of a bump out like that. Then I'm going to grab all this. I'm going to go to soften and smooth. And I'm just going to start turning this up till that face kind of disappears. And there we go. That is what I'm going to use for my cookie. Again, doesn't have to be like super detailed. I don't need, this is the side of a gingerbread house. I don't need 10,000 faces on this thing. This is going to be sufficient to give me that soft look and feel. That's all I want. I'm getting this weird shadow on here. It's because it's all white, and the way I softened it, it's going to be kind of picky right now. But Once I put a material on there, I think that'll go away. Let's do that. Let's actually know what we should do.
What should
Some
we
of you
do?
out there know what I should do.
I don't. What should we do?
It starts with an S and it ends with Ave stupid. I should save.
I'm so proud of you.
You know, it's taken years, but I've started to learn. It's not automatic yet. I still have to work at it, but it's getting there. All right. I am going to grab my paint bucket. Oh, my colors are over here. Now I could grab a baby poop color. No, that's not what I was shooting for. I could grab a solid color. So we could come in here, lighten this up, come up with a tannish gingerbreadish color. A little darker, a little more orange. So I could put something like on there, and it would be okay, right? This is not terrible, but I think considering we're not going to have a whole lot of pieces here, we can maybe spend a little time pushing it with the material. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at some of my materials that I have in here. I've talked about this before, how the stock materials aren't wonderful. If you're going to do a really good model, I recommend taking photos of materials you want to use and project it on there. But there are some materials that are good for this kind of thing. This one in particular, we have these 3D printing materials. I'm not 100% sure where these were sourced, where they came from, but they do have this kind of kind of broke up. Ooh, that's a good one. That's it right there. Kind of like a cookie-ish kind of pattern.
Yeah.
And that color is actually not too bad either. I mean,
yeah, I think a little bit more saturated, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back over here. Let's go back home. Find that material that I just put on right here. I'm going to double click it. It's going to bring it up right in here. And then I can hop over here and I can give that a little, just leave it in the oven just a little longer. There we go. Maybe a little more. Oh yeah. I know color matching is rough. Not everything turns out perfect, but that's the color we're gonna use. We're using that. It's our cookie color. All right, there we go. And I have a cookie. I like this side so much, I want to use it on this side too. He says, like maybe he didn't think of that before. Let's talk about how we would go about that. So I could grab this component, delete it, and then just copy this one over here. Use mirror or use rotate or something to get this over here. Something else I can do is I can use my components window. I can see right here. Let's give me my whole window here. Oh no, that'll work. So what I can do is I can take this guy right here and I can actually replace this, which is currently left. I can replace it with my right. So what I can do is this in model? This is in model. Select this one. This one. No, this one. Nope. There we go. Select instances of left. Oh, maybe I didn't make it into that. No, that's left. Well, sometimes examples just fall right down because as I was going to wing it and that didn't work.
You're doing such a good job.
Yeah, I guess I'm not going to do that. I wanted to just grab this and replace it, but it's not coming up for whatever reason. Replace selected. It's right there. I can't get to it. All right. Sometimes I will spend a lot of time trying to figure out and troubleshoot what the issue is instead of modeling. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say mirror. We're going to tap option to make a copy and then grab red, drag it right to the middle, release, and there we go. Now we got two cookies.
Ooh.
Get in there. All right, this one right here. I'm going to go through basically the same process. I'm going to start by grabbing an arc, and I'm going to double click in the corner. Because I haven't made another arc, it remembers what the arc that I drew last was. So as long as I don't draw any other arcs, I can round off all my cookies the exact same amount. Which one would think, well, here's a smart thing, Aaron. Let's just hop in and just do that to all of them right now before you do anything else, because there's a good chance you'll forget that. And I would say, good point, me. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing here. Double click on each corner to get that same roundness. And because these are components, this guy over here should get rounded as well. Okay, everybody's rounded. Now everybody needs to be push-pulled. Push-pull works the same way. If I grab push-pull, double click, actually went the opposite direction, but that's okay. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to come in here, push-pull, do that also. Come in here, push-pull, double-click. All right. So the only reason I did that is because I wasn't working off exact dimensions, and I want these all to look the same. What I did not pay attention to with this was how far I pulled out this face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double-click to come in here. I'm going to toggle my hidden geometry on, come to this point, start coming this way, and go, how far is that? An inch-ish. Okay, I can make that work. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one out like that. Do the same thing here. Move this. Out to here. All right, they're meeting at the corners. Cool. Oh yeah, also.
Real quick, Tyson's in the chat saying that you need to be giving me a harder time since this is my first show. So
Wow.
I would just like to put that out there. Hello, everybody in the chat.
Wow, that's. Aren't you glad you're with me and not with Tyson? Man, that's just
you know
tough,
what? I love a heckler. You know, I've done stand-up comedy before. I'll take it.
All right. All right. So there we go. I just did the same thing. Offset, push pulled it out, and then soften smooth. Same thing here. That's on the green axis. Triple click, soften smooth. All right. And then same material on there. Same material on here. All right. So one of the things, because Charles is an overachiever, apparently, he came prepared with some gingerbread info for us. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab like this right here. Sorry, there was more to that, but then I thought I had a thought of what I wanted to do, and I got to do my thoughts first.
Your thoughts. We'll come back to surprising gingerbread facts here in just a moment.
We're going to have some gingerbread facts. Yes, sir. All right, so here's the thing that happens. Let me share something. You might have this happen. I just want to make this longer. I don't want to use push pull on it because I have a rounded corner right here. So if I try to move it, because the geometry I'm moving it, I want to move parallel to this line that I'm over, but I can't because that geometry is being affected by the move itself. So what you need to do in this case is find something parallel and move it along. That would work. So maybe see this flickering wall right here. I might just actually choose to move it down that wall like that. That happens to me still all the time where I'm like, why can't I move this? And it's because of that. I'm changing that geometry and I can't move it and change it at the same time. All right, I'm gonna grab both of those then and move that vertically. Up to, you know what, I'm gonna spin around the inside and just inference so it snaps right there. Looks pretty good. And then we need to actually slide them down ever so slightly because they're overlapping right now. So I'm going to slide it down. I'm going to use this as an inference. I'm going to come down about that-ish much. I'm kind of letting myself get a little loose here because it's gingerbread.
It's
right?
not going to be perfect.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and offset here. I'm going to grab and move along this edge right here. See if it'll let me. Actually, here, let me talk about this first. Don't you hate it when your bounding boxes ends up at 45 like this? I have this huge bounding box around what's essentially a piece of plywood flat like that. So I'm going to come in here to my tools, grab my axes, and align my axes to the geometry. What that's going to do is a couple things. See, my bounding box is now nice and tight to the geometry. Also, when I come in here, if I want to move something like this, I can actually move it along the blue axes. You don't have to worry about trying to constrain to something. There we go. Triple click. There we go. Turn X off. Ooh, yeah. That's the stuff. All right, so I'm going to triple click, fill it with that same color. Guys, this is pretty much over. We're just about done.
We did it. 30 minutes. We got this.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking, you get the kits, not so much with the homemade kind, but the kits will go in like outline doors and stuff like that. I kind of want to emulate that. I don't want to actually cut a door out, but I want to put an indent into this front wall. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this yet, but I think it's a thing I want to do. So I'm gonna do something. There's a vague promise if ever I heard one. So I'll do something like a rectangle, something like that. And then I will grab this. I'm gonna offset it that much, and then exactly about that much. I'm gonna put these at the corners. It's that precision modeling I know you all came for. See, this is why I get to do things like this when I also do machine part modeling, because then I can prove I am capable of precision. I just sometimes choose not to do that. All right, so I'm going to draw a couple lines back here. Connect this up like this, thinking about what I'm going to do. This is just connecting right back to the edge below. Grab this.
Real quick, we do have a message in the chat for you to save.
Oh, come on. Where's the fun in that? Oh, I've already learned where the fun is in that isn't.
So when I was when I went to school for video production, we had a professor who taught us editing. He would come around and close out of programs and just say, haha, sorry, if you didn't save, that's on you, just to teach us, to remind us, save, 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 save.
I've heard of people doing that. I've done quite a bit of teaching myself, but could never see myself doing it. So
well, you're a nice guy. You're not gonna.
Apparently, yeah. I can't. I couldn't do that. I could not do that to somebody. Especially since I have documented myself doing a model of hour of modeling and then losing it all. So, yeah, that's part of why I can't do that. All right. So what that did was that just gave me that little indent around there. If I turn off my hidden geometry and just kind of see that I got that marked in there, now I know where I need to decorate my door. So go ahead and hit save. All right, this is okay. This is for 20 some minutes of modeling, I feel pretty good. I think we should reward ourselves with some gingerbread facts.
All right, welcome, Aaron, to Gingerbread Facts. I'm your host, Charles Joseph Kelly, here today to give you the history of gingerbread houses. Now, talking about gingerbread specifically, gingerbread itself um, uh, dates back to the 16th century. However, when it comes to gingerbread houses specifically, um, they've only got popularized because of the Brothers Grimm, because of Hansel and Gretel. So that is a kind of a fun. That's our first fun fact of the day. Is because of that child story, we have gingerbread houses.
Which let's be honest a little bit. How horrifying is that? Like, I don't know, man. I have always like, I guess most of the Grimm stories they're pretty grim.
Classic children's stories are all wild. They're all like, if you look back, most of like the Disney movies, their original stories are crazy. They're crazy. So
Yeah, I don't. It's nuts. It's nuts. All right, that's a good one. That's good to know. I guess it makes sense. They had to come from somewhere.
are you a fan of crispy or the soft gingerbread?
You know, if I'm gonna eat a cookie, which, all right, let's just lay all our cards on the table, folks.
All right, let's do this. Let's hash
It's
this out.
it's not bread. It's a
It's
ginger
not.
cookie,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I like my cookies to crunch. I'm the same with chocolate chip. I don't. My wife and I go back and forth on this. You know, it's opposites attract, I suppose. I like my cookies to crunch. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of nice crunchy gingerbread. Yourself, where do you find yourself in that argument, Charles?
I love a crispy cookie,
All
but
right.
like not too crispy, like the ginger snap specifically. You know how crunchy they can get.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much for me. But just like a nice crisp with like a like softer center, that's perfect. Perfect
Yeah.
for me. How about everybody in the chat? Let's start a fight in the chat over soft versus crunchy cookies.
Wait a minute. Aren't you in social media? You can't say let's start a fight in the chat.
That's my job is to is to start fights on social media.
Well, I want to throw that question out too. Like, is there anybody who is a fan of, cut your gums kind of stuff? Like, do you like those cookies that's like, biting an overcooked potato chip? Is there fans of that? Because I'm with you. I like the outside to be crunchy, but not to the point where I'm like, I shouldn't have to worry about that crack. Was that my tooth or my cookie? I don't want that. By the way, we were talking and I made a gumdrop. So I'm going to grab all of this. Oops. And I'm going to make it a component. Hey, teaching moment. Because I softened this whole thing, the whole thing is made of only one surface, and you can't make a group or component of only one thing. You have to have at least two things selected. So if you ever come to this point where you can't, I have the surface selected, if you double click, or maybe that's a triple. Hold on, sometimes I just do things and I'm like, what did I just do? Triple click, it will highlight not only that one surface that wraps around the whole thing, but also the hidden edges that make up that surface. When you have all that highlighted, you can see the difference over here. When I have just the surface, it says the surface is selected. When I triple click, now it says 649 entities because I have all these other pieces, and then I can say make a component and call that my gum drop. So there you go. Should probably be a little smaller compared to the size of my house. Okay. Oh, hold on. One more. Let me explode this again. Let's do that again. Let's triple click, make a component. And I'm going to do a thing here. I am going to say glue to any, and I'm going to set my component axes right down here, right in the middle of the gumdrop. That way, when I bring that in, now if I come over here to my components, and I grab that gumdrop and bring it in, I can snap it up here on the roof. I can snap it on this front wall. I can snap it over here. I can snap it on the ground. I can put it on Heather. And it's going to jump to whatever surface I want. Now, a note about glue to, once you glue to, that thing is now connected to that piece. So if I grab this and I try to move it off, it's not going to let me move out of the plane that this is placed on. We'll get this. I just bring this up because this shows up on the forum all the time. I'm trying to move this thing. I just hit my up arrow, so I'm snapped to the vertical axis, but it's still moving around crazy. As long as that's glued to that surface, you can only move it along that face. And that even means like I can move it off the face, but you can see it's still moving in line with the face of that roof. So just a point, just because we've seen it quite a bit of times. So yeah, cookies. Sorry, I know we're talking about cookies and that's important stuff, but I had to do some teaching. Sorry.
So we got a question in the chat. What's the device that you're using on the left there? Like what is that?
So this right here is a Space Mouse, specifically the Space Mouse Enterprise from the company 3D Connection. And that's CONNEXION. And what this is a 3D mouse. So what this device lets me do is move my model in 3D space like this without even touching this mouse at all. This is nice for a couple of reasons. One is if you're a designer, you're like, I want to go from intermediate designer to advanced designer. This is great because when all of my movement is being done with my Space Mouse over here, it leaves this free. So that means I could do stuff like I can go over here, let's close these up while I'm spinning around, and let's grab my next tool that I want to use. And I can do all of that without taking away this mouse to use to orbit. The other thing that's nice is as SketchUp users, we get used to this, right? Everybody here has done this. They've seen it. They know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And you know what? When your brain is connected to the finger that's doing this, no problem. If you're just watching, it can be kind of jarring for your whole world to jump around like that. So with the 3D mouse, it takes practice, but you can end up creating much smoother animations like this. So as I move around my model, I get this nice smooth move in, out. The other thing you can do real easy is if I want to pop my head inside the gingerbread house, the 3D connection, the 3D mouse movement isn't concerned with faces, so I can just blast right through like this way quicker and easier than I can with scrolling with the mouse. So it's a cool option. It is absolutely not required to use SketchUp. You can use SketchUp. We recommend a 3D mouse. Some people like to do it with just the touchpad on their computer, but it is a nice option if you want to go to that next level of SketchUpping. Yeah, that's the right term. I know this question does come up once a week, but hey, I'm getting pretty good at the pitch, right? That was only like a minute and a half. That's pretty good. Yeah, I do recommend, personally, I recommend anybody who spends any decent amount of time in SketchUp, anybody who's working professionally in SketchUp, I recommend checking out a 3D mouse. You can get the entry-level ones for under $100. It does take some time. It does take a little bit of practice. You don't just grab it and start spinning your world around. It does take some work. So I recommend work with it a little while before you give up. It's total transparency. At first, it's pretty frustrating because you're gonna just touch it a little bit, and all of a sudden your model's gonna spin out, and that happens immediately. It just takes practice before you get to the point where you can put the model wherever you want. So, the other thing about this particular 3D mouse is it does have a set of programmable buttons around it. So my modifier keys are over here, my arrow keys are mapped here, my most commonly used commands are mapped across the top. So because the hard thing about using SketchUp is, usually use SketchUp like this, right? Dominant hand on the mouse, other hand on the keyboard, hitting shortcuts and modifiers and that kind of stuff. Because your hand's over here on the mouse, you lose your modifier keys, you lose your shortcut keys, that kind of stuff. So you can program them into these other buttons, which is kind of nice. The upper level, there's 3 tiers of 3D mouse. The top 2 have multiple programmable buttons. So yeah, that's, again, if you're making a living off of SketchUp, this is a device that I can't recommend enough. So no, I don't make a commission off of them. I just, goodness of my heart, best advice I can give to you guys. All right, let's move along. So I did create my gumdrop with no color because what I want to do is when I put these on the house, I'll color each one individually rather than putting it in there. But I want to make some other stuff that maybe I will color in the components. So I want to make a candy cane. I haven't done this before, but I've been thinking about how I would go about a candy cane. So let's do that. I want to make a circle with 12 sides. Oops. Not 2, but 12. Grab that. I'm going to pull it up like this. I'm going to draw a line from one circle to the next. Erase that top circle. Grab this line right here. I'm going to rotate about the middle. Go from here to here 11 times. It's going to give me that. Grab that option, bring that up here. 11x also. And then I'm going to grab that, pull that up to the top of that array. All right. Oh boy, just went inside the house. Looks good. All right, cool. I'm gonna grab all this and I'm gonna color some stuff. I'm gonna grab me a nice bright red color. I'm gonna go like color these two and then maybe one and one. Gosh, I don't really know what a candy cane looks like. I know there's one big stripe and then there's some little ones, but yeah, I guess I don't really know exactly. Something like that. That works for me. All right, then I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to copy it straight above itself. Get rid of this middle break like that. Looks pretty good. I'm going to grab all of it and actually I'm going to soften it. I don't want to brag or anything, but I think I just made a candy cane. All right. So I'll do multiple versions of this. We'll start with this guy. I'm going to scale the whole thing down so it's a little more in scale with my gumdrop here. I guess this would be called a peppermint stick and not an actual candy cane because it doesn't have the cane part. So I'm going to grab that, copy it over here, grab this one. I'll make that a component. This one I'm going to grab and make even bigger. A candy cane? Come on, man. This is why I model for a living, because I just can't type. Charles, we're learning a little more about you today. What's your typing skills like? You good with words?
Am I good with words? It's literally my job.
This is true.
is to write. As the social media manager here at SketchUp, I do that. I do a lot of writing. I do some like game design a little bit. I do a lot of like script writing. So I do a lot of writing. Candy cane, I can spell usually correct. On average, I think 95% of the time I can spell candy cane correct.
It's I just have certain. Okay, well, wow. I just had like 3 things to talk about at once. Relative to what we're talking about first. Well, let me model a little bit. Hold on. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna actually bend this with an extension. So I'm gonna like to save anytime I wander into the I don't know exactly what I'm doing territory. It's about 50% of the stream, just in case you guys are wondering. And I'm gonna go grab Fredo scale, and I am going to grab radial bending. And with radial bending, I'm going to say I want to rotate this. So starting about here to about here. I'll try. Not quite. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to scale this up.
That is a huge candy cane.
And then let's see how that bends. A little too large of a diameter for the thickness that we were looking at right there. So let's try this. If I just blow the whole thing up and bending again, let's go from about, lock into the green axis, about midway to almost the end. Okay, so it looks like that bend is relative to the size of the component. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab all of this, use scale to stretch it. So I want to elongate the geometry a little bit, but I think then I can come in radial bending again. Still not what I'm looking for.
No, it's a bit wide.
Am I going the wrong way? Maybe what I need to do is
it the amount that you're grabbing for the arc?
let's see what happens if I go smaller, because sometimes
like
I think I got stuff figured out and I'm like, I was going the wrong way. By the way, I don't know if you've caught this. If you're new here, we are okay. That's much closer to what I'm trying to do. All right, and then what I'm going to probably do is come in here, not push pull, but grab this and move vertically to get that. Come here. Give me middle. No. So yeah, those of you've been around before know that there's a point where Aaron keeps going and he shouldn't, and we're there. We made it to that spot. No, I'm irritated by this. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna grab a copy of this face. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna bring it straight up till it hits right there. Grab all of that. Copy that down. We'll say 2x. And then we'll grab one of these and we'll take it, stick it right here. All right, we're getting closer to the right shape. Now, what I think I can do is I can say, I should probably save again, because I still don't know what I'm doing. Wouldn't it be boring if you guys came in and I had this lesson planned all laid out and everything went exactly the way I was expecting? That sounds so dull.
I am sitting on the edge of my seat right now.
Aaron. That was the proper answer.
So exciting.
All right, let's try this. I'm gonna grab this here. I just want to bring that in. Nope. Yeah, okay. I only want to rotate that bit right there. I think I got it. I think I know what I'm doing now. All right. So now we're gonna say here down to here. Just give that a little bit of a bend in, like a candy cane does. Oh, come on now. There we go. That was what I was shooting for. Man, so if ever...
That was a beautiful candy cane. That's perfect.
I think so. So I got some extra faces in here to get rid of. That was one I was worried about a little bit. So what I'm going to do is what I want to do, there's a couple things I want to do. I want to come in here, peek inside, get rid of this surface. And then I'm just going to grab these edges right here and get rid of them. sometimes when you bend, you create these teeny tiny bits of geometry that don't line up perfect. So that is a spot where I probably, like I said, what I want to do is to go in there and clean those little bits up, but I'm not gonna make you guys do that. I'm not gonna subject you to that process. So we're good right there. All right, 3 pieces of candy. Yeah, I like that, Randy. You called me out. I don't want to waste time with this. And then that's exact. Well, is it time wasted if it works out in the end and maybe somebody learned something along the way?
I learned so much.
See, Charles is in. He's good. So I wanted to mention something, and this is just me being honest and open with you guys. You probably have already caught this. I've done this about a dozen times through the stream. 20 minutes before we went live, I was trying to adjust my chair, and just as hard as I could, leaned down and smacked my head on the corner of my workbench, which is just about maybe 4 inches off camera right here to the right. So, yeah, I was actually bleeding a little bit before the stream. But the reason I keep rubbing my head is because I feel this bump just welling up on my head. So yeah, if I start to speak in gibberish or some foreign language that I didn't know I knew, that could be why. It could just be because I, minor concussion or something like that. But
Just a minor one,
yeah,
just don't go to sleep the next day or two.
that's well. If I go to sleep on the stream too, then that's a dead giveaway that something is not
Then
right.
I'm calling 911.
Thank you. Yeah, Charles knows the emergency protocols. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that was a thing I felt like I needed to share at some point. Yeah, let's see. I'm going down my my candies here. Peppermint. We're in this thing right here that we're doing. So let's go ahead and create another 12-sided circle. I'm using lower poly geometry intentionally, by the way. 12 sides for a piece of candy seems plenty. I'm not rendering this from up close, so I figure 12 sides looks good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this wrap around here, but peppermint candies, this would be a big one if it was this big, but peppermint candies are round and the edges are rounded off. So what I want to do is I want to put a quarter circle here, but I want that quarter circle to be on the inside. So what I will generally do in that case is maybe come over here and put it like here. If I draw a line down like that, I can grab this piece and drag that straight over like that, and then get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. That's easier than drawing that circle on the outside edge and trying to move it in, because as soon as I do that, I'm going to destroy my follow me geometry below. All right, speaking of which, I'm going to grab that, follow me. There we go, and that looks like in one. Obviously, we're missing the colors here, so I'm going to go into show hidden real quick. And I'm going to bring my paint bucket back up. I'm going to color one of these. Let's see if this is enough. I'll grab that, and then I will rotate straight up like this. Where's my? Okay, thanks. There's the middle. Option, copy that there. Was that 6x? All right, what do you guys think? Is that gonna work? It's big, it's too big. I'll do the same thing, triple click, make component. I always call these just peppermints with 2 P's, with 3 P's, 3 P's total. 3 P's.
Are they called anything else?
Probably.
Is there like a different name like we found out with Humbug earlier?
That's an excellent question. Anyone? Anyone? I don't think Super Mario hat is correct, but that's cool.
Do you want another? Do you want another gingerbread fact?
Yes, let's. I'm gonna draw an M&M while we get another fact.
All right, welcome back to Gingerbread Facts with your host Charles Joseph Kelly. The largest gingerbread house in the world is 60 feet by 42 feet and is worth almost 36 million calories.
I thought you were gonna say dollars, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of calories.
That's about like my weekly average, I think.
Give or take, hopefully. All right, so I'm gonna do a thing. This is gonna be my M&M, but I want to stick a white M on here. So any of the colors I actually put on the shell, on the candy shell, will change while the M will stay white. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to tools, I'm gonna grab my 3D text tool. I'm gonna type in M, and then I'm gonna get the right font. Stop correcting me. Nope, stop it. Anybody know what font the M on M&Ms is?
I'm gonna look it up.
Please do. And I'm gonna click through. Whoa, that's pretty close. I don't think it's sticks to text, but it's pretty close. It's probably some like Courier, right? Something like that.
They're saying monotype is the like what they utilize for the most part, but let me see. I'm sure they have their own like
It's probably
trademarked font.
I might go with Courier Bold. Oh, somebody's suggesting Times. I don't know. It depends on what I have on the computer too. So that's gonna Times New Roman. Ooh, yeah, Times is pretty close. I'm gonna have to.
I actually found a really interesting article on Monotype, the website Monotype, about the use of the M&M font and about like the creation for it. This is actually kind of interesting. I'm not sure if anybody else would.
Did anybody hear? Charles? Did you watch the Helvetica documentary?
No. What?
I recommend you. It's the weirdest thing. Like I know I've had had friends who were into like typesetters and designers and stuff who geek out on fonts or shame me for liking Comic Sans so much. But there is this entire documentary. I think it was on Netflix on the font Helvetica, and I had no idea how passionate some people are about that. Yeah, I recommend it. It's a fun thing to watch if nothing else. It was yeah. I would try it.
What's it on? Is it like
I think I watched it on Netflix, but it was years ago. It's an older one. It wasn't hosted by David Letterman that I know of, Randy. Okay, so I'm getting feedback that I'll probably Aiken, AAs. I don't have that though. So I'm going with just a Times.
I love Google popping up very incorrectly that it was Monotype when there's just an article on Monotype about the font. It's great. Love it. Thank you, Google.
Well, how would you believe Monotype? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create that like that, and then we're going to stick it in the middle of this M. That's too big, so we're going to scale it down. Obviously, I need more candy around me because I need reference. This would be a great excuse to work in the office surrounded by lots of junk food today. We really missed the ball, Charles.
You're not snacking right now? I'm not on camera. I've been
That's
eating
true.
this entire time.
It's like, yeah, I got a bowl of those. What's your problem? What do you need? All right, so what I'm going to do with that then is I'm just going to grab this surface, right click, intersect face with model, and that should just break that right out. This is going to be the confusing part because what I'm going to do is I'm going to triple click and make this into a component. Wait, I'm going to get it to the right size first. Scale this sucker. Smaller than And I'm going to grab that, make it a component. M ampersand M. And now I'm going to come in here, and most of this thing right now, everything in here is currently my default material, which is this right here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab this white color and I'm going to click just on the M. Nothing looks like it changed, but watch this. When I come out here, I'll make a couple copies of these. And now if I come in with my paint bucket and I grab, say, my red, and I click on here, and I'm going to do a nice green one right here, and then we'll do a yellow one, and
Brown.
The M stays the same color because that's not the default color. So by leaving these, most of the geometry the default, when I paint on the outside of the component, anything that's that default color gets that color. But the M, even though it looked the same, was painted inside the component as white. It holds that white color. So there you go. We got M&Ms.
I think real quick, I would for legal purposes, these aren't M&Ms. These are W and Ws.
That's right there. We don't want to be like Michael Marshall and get somebody threatening us.
Yeah, these aren't M&Ms, folks.
No.
These are W and Ws.
All right. I've been looking at this picture. If you guys aren't on the forum, forums.sketchup.com, you should be there. I mean, it is the place to be.
I'm there right now.
There we go. Keggy hopped on there and posted some humbugs. And I'm trying to think of how to make this, but I think I have it. I think I have a thing. I have an idea. I'm gonna do a proof of concept real quick, and then we'll talk about colors afterwards. So I think what I could do is make a circle. I'll pull it up about that far, and I'm gonna option double click again. Now I'm gonna grab this top circle. No, you know what I need to do? No, you don't, because you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Nobody knows.
Where am I right now?
I'm going to option to create a new surface, and I'm going to double click again, so I get 3 tiers like this. I'm just going to play with that geometry a little bit. I'm sculpting at this point. I'm going to grab this top circle, scale it about the middle, and pinch it together like that. I'm going to come down to this one, scale it, option about the middle, pinch it like that. And then I'm going to peek my head inside again, delete these interior faces, grab that, soften the heck out of it. It's okay. It's not perfect. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but I think I can do something with this. So if I was to do a third course like this. Yeah, we'll see it like that. I'm going to grab this top. Yesterday I didn't know what a humbug was, and now here I am just modeling one. That's the fun of SketchUp Live, folks. So if I did do that, and then just to kind of control this transition, there we go, that's better. I'll do the same thing here. And we can squash those down a little more. They look pretty, not big shapes. All right, and then I think I have some more interior faces to wipe out. All right, I'll grab that and soften smooth it. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Close to that weird shape. So look at hidden geometry and see if there's an easy way to get stripes on this thing. Yeah, I think. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's get a nice grayish color. That's not quite dark enough. I'm making the thing on the forum, by the way. If you guys are going to argue with me about my color choice for my humbugs, I will let you know I have no idea what I'm doing and merely following the picture that somebody put up with no verification or research whatsoever. Yeah, I'm going with it. That's what it's called. Which is safe when you're modeling for fun. Not something you should do when you see news articles on social media. All right, there we go. Humbug. Nope. Gee, that's my list. All right, any more requests for candies before we move on to decorating? I know licorice is one of them, but licorice is just an extruded line, so I'll probably do that along with frosting just kind of on here. Oh, you know what we could do? This is something we always do. We always take like, star piping tips and put a little bit of frosting on there and then shove a red hot in there.
Ooh.
All right. So I got a thought on how to do that too. Very similar process. So I'm going to come in with not a circle. It could be a circle, but I'm going to do a polygon. And I'm going to say like 24-sided polygon. Yeah, okay. Actually, now that I think about this.
The kisses would be
Oh,
good as well. It's
that
also in
is
the chat.
a great point. All right, so I'm going to take...
What's the not copyrighted version of Hershey Kiss? What can we call them?
Chocolate dollop.
Oh, chocolate dollop.
I'm in marketing. Thank you very much.
That's a great word. Dollop is such a good word.
Underused, in my opinion. All right, so to make a little out of frosting, that is a technical term too, I'm going to take this and I'm going to option copy it up. So I want to go out, up, in. Maybe something like that. I'm going to grab this. And this is kind of a class in optimizing geometry as well. Because you could probably call this low poly modeling, some of this stuff that I'm doing. But the idea is getting just enough geometry there to hint at things like curves without having to sacrifice all the geometry to include things like curves. So here we'll do like a full-on frosting dollop. Keep hop. See, this is, again, one of the things I like about this 3D mouse is I can hop in, get inside there, and clean up geometry as I want. Something like that. There we go. So I'm going to do that version, which will shrink down quite a bit. And then I'll make a copy over here. And this one I'm going to squish a red hot into. So we'll do this. And we will make that a component. And then this guy over here, I'm going to hijack an M&M because it's basically the same thing. I'm going to explode this. Turn it upside down. Actually, if that's an M&M, I got some more sizing to do. Hold on. Let's make the dollops a little bit bigger. Imagine this guy needs to be significantly smaller. that, and then fit into a group. Just grab
While
that.
you're doing this, we got some dead air here.
Yeah.
All right, I got another fact for you.
Keep it coming.
This one's a little bit interesting, kind of a little bit morbid too, like if you think about it too much. But Queen Elizabeth I, apparently really liked gingerbread cookies and gingerbread people in general. So to celebrate her guests, she presented them with gingerbread portraits. Now, it's not we're not sure if people were forced to eat their own gingerbread portraits or if they were just there just to look at them and see if they're, look and enjoy it. But yeah, that's kind of morbid.
That smacks of like Instagram influencer video, like RDJ and gingerbread. Like I feel like maybe Queen Elizabeth was ahead of her time. So I can totally see that showing up on my feed.
What do they say? Girl boss?
Wait a minute, did I miss a thing?
Well, I just said just calling her a girl boss. What do we got? What else we got? Are you pretty much good here, or do we have enough time for another fact? Or
Oh
where are
yeah,
you at?
keep them coming because I mean I feel like okay, I'll just throw it out again. Oh, Hershey's Kiss, yeah, go for it.
Cool. Oh, I didn't have one immediately. Okay.
That's okay.
3 million ounces of ground ginger are sold around this time, according to McCormick's, the spice company, for gingerbread. Wild. That's a lot of gingerbread cookies.
That's nuts.
Do you eat your gingerbread house after it's done? I don't,
No.
because it just gets super stale, but I feel like that's a waste.
Yeah, I get that, and it does kind of just sit there. Ours usually we have a bookshelf in the front of our house, and our gingerbread a lot of time just kind of sits there for a month or two. And then there's some
Right.
time in January where I just take them out and dump them in the compost. So yeah, that's how we roll. I eat a lot of candy during the construction process. So
Right. That's like legally you have to.
yeah, oh yeah. This is a very squat chocolate dollop. Let's let's fix that. Let's get that more. That's better. There we go. And those, I think we can agree those should be chocolatey brown and yeah, there we go. Oh, chaw. So is that how you spell dollop? Is dollop DOLLUP? Anyone? Dollop.
I think DOLLOP? How DOLLO?
Dollop? They both
Yeah,
look wrong.
DOLLOP is what I see. Let's see. Doll up.
A thing I learned today.
Yeah, it's doll up.
Okay. Dang. This is awesome. I'm learning so much. DALLOP. Got it. All right. I'm sure there's more we can make, but let's start doing. Oh, you know what I did not do for most of these? I did not. I did not make place. I didn't align a placement point like I was talking about what I do with that my gumdrop, but it'll be okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this dollop with this frosting with no red hot. I'm gonna grab it right here. I'm gonna go to stamp. Oops. Go grab by the middle. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna drop this right about here. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna stamp it. I'm gonna grab one. Option, slide it down the end, and I'm gonna say divide that by 10. Ooh, that's
Wow.
pretty close to perfect right there. I'm just gonna point out, I don't want to brag, but I'm a fairly artsy guy. I do you know, sculpting and painting and that kind of stuff, but my gingerbread houses tend to look not awesome. I tend to have some goobery looking gingerbread houses. So
My gingerbread always ends up a little bit too soft and it always falls apart. It's great.
yeah, that's yeah. So right now I'm batting 1,000 with this. This is like the best looking gingerbread house I've ever made. All right. Let's see here. What should we do? Yeah, this is as far as I got in my head. I didn't actually think about like how to apply the candy. So I'm kind of thinking like, should
What
we
about
do?
like the candy canes could be like columns,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
outside
yeah.
the front?
Let's cover our corners with them. How about this?
Yeah.
Grab this guy by the middle and we'll stick it right here. And then we'll just scoot it over. We'll scoot it up. Yeah, I like it. All right. Grab, copy that. Straight over here. Take all of them. And then we'll have to, in real life, this would be where we take a bite of the candy cane to make it the right size. In this case, we will use the scale command and just get those down so they're underneath the roof popping up. Ooh, I like it a lot. All right, roof tiles. Let me throw this out to you guys. We got some options here. We could do gumdrops back and forth across the roof. We could do M&Ms or mints. What do you guys think? How do we want to cover that roof? Kind of feeling like we'll do... Ooh, here's an idea. I'm going to take this over here. And I'm going to take it and rotate it. I'm going to make it unique. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to scale this and stretch it out like this.
Ooh.
Fancy is happening. Watch this. And then what I can do is I can take this little fella. Here, I'll do it out here first. And then we'll put it on the roof. Go like that. Now we got some nice, scale down a little bit, but that, look at that fanciness. Make it into, I'm gonna grab all these guys, make it into a group. And I know they're it's round on both sides, but it'll look like piped frosting when we stick it up on the roof. So let's do that right now. I'm gonna stick this edge right here, rotate by grabbing that to here, down to here, scoot it over like that. Squish that back up to here. Yes, have some. I like it. Take that. And then we'll take the bottom. We'll do these guys. Oh, see, this feels like I now feel like I am doing a gingerbread house where I'm like, oh, grab that thing and stick it on there. Who knows?
I mean, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, I hope so. That's how I always have.
Do you think anybody uses SketchUp to plan their gingerbread houses before they're built?
I would love to hear if that's the case, but I kind of hope not. I mean, I like the idea of it being a free flow. Just get in there, get it
Right.
messy. But hey, that's not everybody. So yeah, let us know. Is this how do you plan for gingerbread? All right. So going back, Lauren said gumdrops on the roof. Lori said gumdrop shingles. Oh, Keggy said, I did not catch that. He was suggested edging with something different, but apparently no. um, Licorice, save please.
It has been a bit.
All right, I'm gonna go with gumdrops because I want to get in here and play with these things. Where's my? Oh, there we go. All right, I'll go find my gumdrop. Place one right here. I like the idea of stamping, but really, more than that, I like the idea of copy and array. Because I can put this here, take that over to there, and then say divide by 12, 11. There we go, a little space. That looks good. And then I will grab all 12 of those. I timed that perfectly. And then I will copy that down the edge like this. Option. We'll take that one all the way bottom. Divide by 4.
Perfect.
I don't like to use that P word very often, but yeah, that was
It
perfect.
looks real good.
That's nice.
Now, coloring wise, when you do these, you do you keep it even or do you
Mm.
like mix it up? Have a have it be a little bit more random.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking like in real. That's not a gumdrop color. There we go. I'm thinking like in real life, I would probably just be grabbing them like this and just chucking them on there. Is that bothering anybody's ADHD? Like how's that landing with everybody?
I think it looks great.
All right, Charles in. No, I need a darker green, I think, than that. That seems too dark. Let's customize. All right, now I got a real question we need to get into. Black gumdrops. Thoughts?
I love black licorice.
All right, we're gonna throw some black gumdrops on.
I am a big believer in them.
All right, we're putting black gumdrops on.
I need some red.
Yeah, I was gonna leave white, but I
This is
think
the
I think we're gonna
holidays.
go to red. It's looking like something. All right. I want to get this stuff over onto this side right here. Um, I need a center point to mirror across. So what I'm going to do is zoom way in here and draw a line. And see that these aren't lined up. See how I didn't do that right? But it's okay. For the purposes of this candy, draw this line straight up like this. Give myself I meant to go this way. There we go. And I'm gonna grab all this yummy candy, but not the roof. Got it. All right, I'm just gonna use mirror, option to copy, drag that over to this line right here. There we go. For the purposes of, whoops, undelete that. For the purposes of a gingerbread house, that is sufficient detail. I'm not trying to like, oh no. There you go. Because I made this when it was laying on the ground, the reference plane is you know, square to whatever the bounding box is. That's why I got that weirdness happening over there. But that looks cool. Looks good. Looks good. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I want to get this on the front.
It could be like a chimney.
Ooh, that's true too. What about, oh, I think I'm tending towards all of the above personally.
Oh.
So I'm gonna get one on this side of the door. And then same thing. We'll mirror that option. Bring it to the center. We got two. And then take this little one right here. Stick that maybe like that. Okay. More. Need more. Let's put some of these up here. All right, you just got to comment really loud if you want me to do something else, because I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go now. Dollop like that, and then take those down the base. Kind of thing. I'm really trying to figure out what to do with this humbug, because this feels like a hefty chunk of candy right here. What if, all right, so I'm going back to the chimney idea. What if we did like, can I do a stack of humbugs? Because that doesn't look like it's gonna be structurally very sound.
If you put like dollops in between them, maybe
That's true. I like it. Come here for a sec. Oh, I already have one there. That doesn't matter. All right, so if we squish that down. So how was your day at work today? Well,
this is what you get to do for a living. This is incredible.
Well, just to be clear, those of you who don't know, I do other stuff too. I have other responsibilities, but yeah, I feel like this is the perk. I get to hang out with everybody and do this sort of thing. So, hey, there we go. I'm gonna drop one more down here. I'm just gonna point out, Charles, this is now what you do for a living as well. So,
wow,
you're hired, by the way.
Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna grab all that, make it a group, and then we're gonna grab it and stick it. Wow, those are way smaller than should not be smaller than a gumdrop, I don't think. I like that. That works. It's a good looking chimney. Let's get a dollop right up here on top. Oops. Oh. On top of the ridge. Okay, I'll trust you. I'll trust you. We'll put it up on the ridge. I need a randomizer to like take each of these squiggles and like turn them just a little bit. All right, so bring this back down a touch, just a touch. All right, there we go. There's my chimney. All right, I'll leave it there unless anybody else. That's the ridge. All right. Got some of these. Kind of thinking what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
Thanks for asking. I'm kind of feeling like I'm gonna chop my dollops in half. Maybe just kind of put them along the bottom here and see how this looks. Maybe a mess. This may be terrible, but we'll see. I'll pose that.
It looks like little shrubs.
Yeah, like some, yeah. Then maybe we'll do some cobblestone work with some M&Ms. How's that? What colors am I missing? No fair looking this up. But what other colors? Orange? Is orange a color? Yeah, I got no idea.
Do you want me to spoil it for you? I've got a bag of M&Ms right here. I can open it up. Hold on. See, I'm only sound, so let's see.
Right.
We get some sound effects in there.
Blue. Nate's saying there's an orange.
There's an orange.
Orange and
Sometimes
blue.
there's whites, but there's none in this bag. I've seen purple.
Are we there? Is
It's
this
a specific one?
I remember there used to be two colors. There's a light and a dark brown, but I don't think they do that anymore. Is this right? That looks like that could be it.
Yeah, it looks right.
All right. All right. I'm gonna cobblestone this this front wall right here. So we're gonna take this orange one and slap it right there. Then I'll grab blue. Put that right there. Go with the yellow. Green.
I've got a fun little like trivia for you.
All right.
Who plays the yellow M&M in commercials specifically?
Yeah. Oh, not the live action.
Yeah,
version.
live action yellow M&M.
I feel like it was John Goodman for some reason at some point, but
J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons.
that
close.
I did not. Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, Billy West, who does everything, Ren and Stimpy, Fry from Futurama, plays the red M&M.
Red. That's pretty cool. I did not. I feel like originally, what was that guy? What was that actor's name?
You are right. You are actually right.
John-
Yellow was also John Goodman.
And John
just looked it
Lovitz,
up.
was John Lovitz originally red?
Oh, John Lovitz was red at one point as well.
That's what I
don't
remember.
see
Like
when.
originally hearing those voices and being like, I know those guys. So this is where it would be really, really cool and way easier to have some sort of a scattering tool where I could just say, sprinkle M&Ms on here. But I don't have something like that right now.
Oh, that's right. We do have to. These are not M&Ms. These are
WWs. They're
W's?
upside down W and Ws.
Yeah, they're upside down W and Ws. It's hard to say.
It is. That's. There's probably a reason they didn't go with that. Or 3 and 3s. We could call them 3 and 3s. That's
3 and 3s or E and E's. Yeah.
E and E's. Yeah.
There's so many different options here, folks.
This is the. I don't want to have two colors matching next to each other. Are you kidding me? There we go. I'm putting that yellow here. All right. Oh, I like it. That's kind of fun. Oops. Magic. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to grab all of these. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before. And copy them using my mirror command, which I gotta say, I don't know how you guys are all feeling about mirror, but it is quickly becoming one of my more used tools. All right, I think I'm gonna try to do something like that. And I'll do the same thing. I'll grab these three and I will option copy those, option mirror those over like that. I'm filling space now. What do we do on that door? What do we do with the door? I didn't really come up with a thought or a plan for the door.
I'm going to look up some options.
Gingerbread
unless
doors.
anybody else in the chat has better options.
Paul says he's a fan of the flip tool. Oh, flip and save. Nicely played, Peter. Paul's a big fan of 3D printing and flip. Paul, do you model half of a thing and flip it to create your solid piece? Oh, Nate probably has this with a full bar of chocolate for the front door. Seems like a no-brainer when you say it out loud.
You know what? I've never seen it, and at the reference images, I don't see it. However, that's a great idea.
I think we should do it. I think maybe we're starting something new. Or Nate, is that a thing you did? Are we co-opting your thing, or are we creating something brand new here? I want to squish together some frostings here too. And yeah, I'm doing filler now. I'm doing filler.
I'm seeing piping. I'm seeing using red hots. I'm seeing cutting it out. I'm not seeing just good old chocolate. That's a smart idea. Oh, here we go. Now I see one. Finally.
I like it. We're in the deep cut of the Google playlist. That's good. Of course, that means I got to make it. So this is gonna be some fast chocolate bar. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to offset and offset and push that up. And then, oops. I did this a little out of order, but we'll be okay. Sometimes the speed of my clicks can't keep up with the speed of my brain. All right, there we go. I call that.
Just for funsies, I was looking up to see if there was anything in 3D Warehouse for a chocolate bar, and there's not.
Ooh.
However, I don't think there's much use for that model for for most people.
Probably true. Yeah, it's not a... All right. Oh, I spelled it right in one. I don't want to brag or nothing, but pretty good. Hey, I actually was going to bring this up earlier. Does anybody else have a word that no matter how many times they write it, they get it wrong? I mean, this might surprise you, but not everything I type is wrong. I'm pretty consistent with a couple words. The words that I struggle with the most are necessary. Even right now, I'm arguing with myself about the C and the S's, and I don't know which is which. Necessary is one, and for whatever reason, material. Like every time I type material, I misspell it. Anyone else got anything like that? Everyone else be like, no, you're just, no. I know if you say no, you're lying. There's got to be a word that you don't do good at.
I don't really have one. I'm so sorry, Aaron.
I'm going to keep an eye out on your correspondence, Charles.
Yeah. Thank you to Grammarly for helping make sure I spelled everything right.
Oh, man. Feels like cheating.
It's not.
Okay. Grab odd number of these. And just kind of fill the wall up with frosting. Take all these and squish them down just a titch. This is a move that I play towards the end of the night when I need to fill space on my just squirt frosting on there with the piping bag.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that, and then again, option mirror that to across the middle like that. Oh, folks, it's looking pretty all right. I'm feeling kind of good about what we got here. We used all of our candies. That's a plus.
I do have a question.
Yes.
What's the deal with the back, though?
Dang. Let me check. Looks good.
It looks great. It looks great. This one is like pushed up against a wall.
That's right. Nobody's gonna see the back. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. Nobody's gonna see that. Yeah,
it's for somebody who wants just like plain gingerbread when they're eating it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you really want a piece after all this sugar has turned rock hard, you can go chew the back off. I'm not gonna call it perfection, but I don't really want to mess with it.
There are some good things like rotating some of the W and Ws.
That's true. Yeah, we can, and that's a pretty easy one, right? Because I can come in here and I can use my move command. And watch this. If I have nothing selected when I hit move, I can hover over one and then just go to the next. So this makes it pretty easy. There are some other there's stuff out there. Scatter is a software that I think is awesome, and I know I don't use enough. I don't even know if I even have I don't think I have a copy of it. Oh no! Look at all these. We got backwards M&Ms. Stupid mirroring. I'm not fixing it. I don't even. Sorry, guys. I'm just being honest with you right now. That's going to be just part of the flavor. These are these cheap generic M&Ms I ordered on Amazon, and they came back printed backwards. Yeah, scatter is a good one because it'll do stuff like it'll give you the option of like how far do I want to rotate each one. I could do, obviously it wouldn't work for this one, but different sizes. You could put multiple components in, so I could have a different component for each gumdrop and just say sprinkle that on there. In fact, if I had scatter, I would say I probably would have knocked a good 20 minutes out of modeling because I would have just grabbed an area and said, put this component on and done good. But yeah, I feel I'll be honest, I cut a couple corners. I filled some stuff in with just frosting, but I feel pretty good about this considering I had no plan coming in. I feel like that's a pretty good, we made a lot of things. There's a lot of things in here that made this up. Turned out pretty good.
Looks great.
And we didn't, I was being very conscious too of not wandering down. And this is a throwback for some of you, but I didn't want to end up in video card land. We once, those of you who are unfamiliar, there was a point where on a live stream, it was my idea. I thought, oh, wouldn't a video card be a fun thing to model? Like all those little details and stuff. Turns out on a video card, there's some little boxes about this big that repeat hundreds of times. And not like in an array. You can't just go here to here, do it 30 times. Everyone's like slightly offset, an odd amount. So that live stream, the video card live stream is probably one of my least favorites because there's got to be 40 minutes where I'm like, all right, Jody, just talk about something. And I just start clicking because it was, yeah, that was before stamp too. We didn't have the ability to just stamp stuff, but all right, hey, we made Lauren sick just by looking at our model. I'd take that as a compliment.
That's a win.
We made Excalibur Bros lymph nodes swell. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, gingerbread ground underneath. Okay, I'm not going to do a whole lot more, but we can handle that. That's a thing I respect the request for. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. We'll round off the corners.
I do think there is some valid criticism with the lack of natural light inside your gingerbread house. However, you know, I do understand why we didn't head in that direction this time.
All right, yeah, I'm glad you're okay with it because we're done. So yeah.
we're done here, folks.
Please forgive me because that's that. All right, there we go. So it's same treatment on the ground plane there. I got pretty quick at that. That one real good. I'll soften and smooth that back out. All right, and then whoops. That is not the right color for gingerbread. If your gingerbread's bright red like that, don't eat it. All right, we'll drop. We won't drop that. There we go. Our little Heather gingerbread person out front. And yeah, we could do some landscaping, but I'm going to go ahead and call it. I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was fun. That was honestly, you know, some of these live streams, we've talked about this before. Some of these live streams, I come in with some drawings and some plans and I think ahead about it. This, I was coming in pretty, yeah, I had nothing coming in this. I just thought it would be a fun one to model. I think it's a pretty cool, we did some cool stuff with components, but yeah, that turned out pretty neat. I like the way that ended up. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it too. And I hope that you guys are all planning on something fun. Not necessarily gingerbread house, but hopefully you're taking advantage of the winter, whatever that means where you are. If you're up by us, it means things like sledding and skiing. I know some places don't have that. That's okay, you know. Hopefully you're doing whatever fun things you do, and we got a holiday coming up, so hopefully you find a way to enjoy that holiday, make the most of that time. Hopefully you're taking some time off. We here at Trimble are going to be taking some time off, so the SketchUp team's going to be taking the last few Fridays off, so I just modeled, in case you guys didn't catch that. That was me. I play myself. And then next week, I think Eric is coming in, and then Tyson. So we're each going to take one live stream in December, but after that, we're taking the rest of the year off. We'll be back online in January. So yeah, hopefully swing by, join us the next 2 Fridays as we do more live models, probably related to something wintry or holiday-ish or something like that. But we'll be doing some more fun models, and then, like I said, then taking the rest of the year. So again, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with us and yeah, having some fun. As always, leave us a comment if you got any thoughts, feelings about how we do our streams. We love hearing your input. We want to make sure that what we're doing is useful for you, that you're having a good time and learning. So we shoot for is a little both. And if there is any ideas you guys have for going into next year, what would make some fun live streams? And we did talk too, just to throw this out there. We talked too about, how much do we do this sort of thing where it's just modeling from scratch versus workflows or that kind of thing. Some of your guys' favorite model or favorite sessions over the last year have been things like how to frame walls in SketchUp, how to generate drawings through layout. So yeah, let us know what you guys think is the most useful time here. So we want to, as I always say, we like doing this stuff, but we like to do more when it's something that you want to see. So stick around if you want to. Leave a comment on whatever platform you're on. We will see it. And if not, if you're watching this after the live stream, just leave the comment on YouTube where you're watching it. But otherwise, I want to say a big thanks to Charles for joining and co-hosting. That was a lot of fun. Came armed with some
Thank you for
information.
having me. This was an absolute delight.
It was a lot of fun. I really appreciated you hanging out. And you guys, thank you so much. And we will catch you next time. See ya.